There are nights when we fall asleep quickly and yet wake up feeling strangely unsettled. No bad dream, no late phone call, no loud noise in the night, and still something feels off, like the soul is wearing a coat 2 sizes too small. You lie there in the early light, staring at the ceiling, asking yourself, why do I feel like this? And the mind, ever ready to help, begins offering guesses. Maybe I didn't sleep well. Maybe I'm just tired. Maybe it's my age, or my diet, or just another heavy day waiting. But what if it isn't about what happened overnight, but how you entered the night in the first place? You see, sleep is not a pause, it's a passage, and just like any sacred threshold, how we enter it shapes what we receive from it. Most people treat sleep like shutting down a machine. Click off the lights, lie down, scroll a little, drift. But ancient wisdom whispers something different, something softer. It tells us there are ways to step into sleep that are not only restful, but transformative. What if, instead of dragging our worries into bed like old luggage, we entered sleep the way monks walk into morning, slow, still, and light? In this story, we'll explore 5 simple things you can do before sleeping. Not techniques, not hacks, but quiet rituals, each one a way of remembering how to let go. And we'll begin with the most invisible weight of all, the burden we carry without knowing, the one that slips beneath our thoughts and shapes our sleep from the inside out. Let's begin. Part 1. The invisible burden we carry into sleep. Have you ever gone to sleep carrying something heavy, though you couldn't quite name what it was, as if some weight clung to your chest? Invisible but present, a sigh that never fully exhaled. There are nights like that, nights when the house is quiet, the world outside is still, and yet inside something stirs. You've brushed your teeth, turned off the lights, laid your head on the pillow, but the mind isn't done. It loops, it lingers, and then morning comes, not with lightness but with a strange kind of fog. You open your eyes and feel off, not sad, not in pain, not exactly anxious, but like joy missed its stop and kept on going. There's no clear reason, yet the shadow is there. Why does this happen? The Buddha once said, "The mind is everything. What you think, you become." But what if what truly shapes you is not just what you think during the day, but what you carry silently into the stillness of night? There's an old Zen story that lives in whispers. A young monk once approached his teacher, worn from restless mornings. "Master," he said, "I go to sleep in peace, but I wake with a tightness I cannot name. It's like I'm bruised from within, though nothing has touched me." The teacher didn't speak. He simply handed the monk a clay pot and said, "Each night, before bed, breathe all your lingering thoughts into this vessel. Every regret, worry, memory, let them pass through your breath and into the pot. Then seal it." The monk did this, night after night, for days, weeks, and then one morning, he awoke with a lightness that felt almost foreign. The fog was gone. The monk returned to his master with wide eyes. "What changed?" he asked. The old teacher smiled gently. "For the first time, you slept alone. You did not bring your ghosts with you." That story, like many in Zen, doesn't offer instruction. It offers reflection. The truth is, sleep does not erase what you carry. It magnifies it. In the silence of sleep, whatever is left unresolved, regret, anxiety, even small unspoken thoughts, can quietly grow. Like seeds pressed into soft earth, they root deeper when we're not looking. Science now calls this subconscious programming. In Buddhist thought, it is vasana, the residue of the mind, left unchecked, These impressions can cloud not just our sleep, but our waking clarity, our relationships, even our health. And the troubling part, most of us aren't even aware we're doing it. We fall asleep with our phones in hand, minds half stirred by the day's stories, hearts still echoing the stress we never named. And yet, we expect rest. But what if your rest is determined not by how tired your body is, but by what your heart is still holding on to? Have you ever noticed how a single unresolved thought can color an entire night, and how that night can color your entire day? This is why, in many Buddhist monasteries, evenings are not merely bedtime. They are a sacred winding down. Bells are rung, lamps are dimmed, monks walk slowly in silence. The day is not ended, it is released. Because in truth, sleep is not escape, it's continuation, a mirror, and what we hand to it, consciously or not, is what we receive back upon waking. So here is the quiet question: what are you handing to your sleep? Maybe it's time we stop seeing bedtime as the end of the day and start seeing it as a gentle ceremony, a way of handing the mind back to itself, without judgment, without weight. And now that we've looked into the quiet burden we carry into sleep, let's explore the very first thing we can shift. A habit so simple, most overlook it, but it can transform not only how deeply we sleep, but how clearly we live. Part 2. Don't sleep angry with the body. Let it finish its work. What if your body isn't tired, just interrupted? What if it lies down each night, not to rest, but to wrestle with what you've asked it to hold too long? There's a quiet misunderstanding in how we treat our bodies before bed. We think that sleep is a switch, that when we crawl under the covers, everything within us somehow knows to shut off. But the truth is, the body cannot truly rest if it's still working. And the most common burden we unknowingly place on it, our evening meal. The Buddha spoke often about moderation. He once said, "One who is mindful eats with awareness and gratitude." Yet in our modern world, dinner is often rushed, late, or heavy. Sometimes all three. We eat to fill a silence, to end a stressful day, sometimes just to reward ourselves for surviving it. But what happens when we eat and then immediately ask our bodies to lie still and sleep? Imagine this. You invite a craftsman into your home, hand him a pile of tools, and right as he begins work, you ask him to stop, lie down and go to sleep while still holding the hammer. That's what we do when we sleep right after eating. We give the body fuel and then ask it to be still, to rest, to digest without motion. But digestion is an active fire, a sacred task. It takes heat, attention, and time. And when we interrupt that process, we don't just disturb our bellies, we disturb our minds. You may have felt it before, waking up groggy, bloated, confused, as if your body didn't really sleep at all, because in many ways, it didn't. In Buddhist monasteries, evening meals are light and served before dusk, not because of strict rules, but because of deep compassion for the body, for the breath, for the coming night. A body that isn't struggling to process is a body more able to relax, and a relaxed body is the doorway to a peaceful mind. There's a story, quietly passed down in forest temples of Southeast Asia, of an elder monk who fasted after noon. One day, a younger novice asked him, "Do you never feel hungry at night, master?" The elder chuckled, "No more than the trees complain of thirst when the sun sets." The novice frowned, not understanding. The elder explained, "The tree does not grow during the day. It drinks in silence at night. So must we. But if your roots are tangled in too much food, thought, tension, you cannot draw in peace. Let your roots breathe." It's a poetic truth. When we overload the system through late, rich meals or mindless eating, We deny ourselves the quiet ease we long for. It's not about punishment, it's about allowing. So here's a simple shift. Try to eat your last meal at least 3-4 hours before bed. Let the fire of digestion complete its cycle before you ask your body to rest. Give it space, give it grace, and while you're at it, sip a bit of water, just enough to cleanse, not enough to disrupt. Think of it as offering your body a gentle bow, a way of saying, I trust you, I will not burden you before rest. Because when you treat the body with kindness, it becomes a gentler vessel for the mind, and in turn, your sleep becomes not just deeper, but more healing. Now, having allowed the body to finish its work, what else can we do to cleanse the day before we sleep? Let's step into something older than words, something elemental, flowing, a ritual as old as rivers and as quiet as surrender. Part 3. Wash more than the skin. The ritual of water. Have you ever noticed how a simple shower can wash away more than just the day's dust? You step into the water carrying the weight of tension, of conversations left unresolved, of worries that buzz beneath your thoughts like a quiet hum. But then, as the water flows over your skin, something within you loosens, not just muscle, but mood, mind, memory. This isn't an illusion, and it's not just physical. In Buddhist thought, we are not separate from the elements, we are them. Water, earth, fire, air, and space. Over 70% of our bodies are made of water, so when water touches us, it doesn't merely cleanse the outer layer, it speaks to something deeper, a resonance, a remembering. In the ancient practice of punta shuddhi, the purification of the elements, water holds a sacred place. To bathe is not only to clean, but to clear, to reset, to wash away not only what is seen but also what is silently carried, emotional residue, stagnant thought, unspoken heaviness. Water is memory, and it is also release. There's a Zen story often told in hushed tones by temple streams. A disciple, anxious and weary, came to his teacher and said, "Master, I've meditated, I've fasted, I've chanted, yet my heart feels tight, like a fist that won't open." The teacher said nothing. Instead, he walked the young man to a nearby river. "Step in," he said softly. The disciple hesitated, confused, but obeyed. The teacher joined him, standing beside him in silence as the current whispered around their feet. Minutes passed. Nothing was said, only water moving. Then finally the master looked at him and asked, "Where did your thoughts go?" The disciple blinked. "I don't know. They dissolved." The master smiled, then let the river do what the mind resists. So often we try to think our way out of tension, but water, gentle, unthinking, constant, shows us another way to surrender the tension instead. That's why, even in your own home, a simple lukewarm shower before bed can become a quiet form of evening prayer. Not hot. Hot water may relax your muscles but dull the senses. Lukewarm water, however, awakens. It signals the body to release, the breath to deepen, and more importantly, it tells the mind, the day is done, let it flow away. Have you noticed when you're deeply anxious, a shower can feel like a weight lifting from your shoulders? That's not a coincidence. That's the body responding to a kind of elemental healing. You don't need candles, you don't need chants, you just need presence. Let the water fall over your face like a quiet blessing. Let it trail down your arms and legs like forgiveness. Imagine each drop carrying away a thought that no longer serves you. Each stream a whisper. You don't have to hold this anymore. And when you step out, wrapped in a towel warm and clean, You are not just physically refreshed, you have symbolically left the day behind. In this way, the shower becomes more than habit. It becomes a threshold. Now, imagine pairing that flow with a soft flame, something steady flickering alive in stillness. In the next part, we'll explore how a single light can become a silent companion through the night. A lamp not just to see with, but to remember yourself by. Part 4. A lamp for the night. Remembering who you are. What if a simple flame could remind you that you are more than this day, more than this body, more than this mind? There's something ancient about light, something primal, even before language, before rituals, before beliefs. There was fire. In the darkness we gathered around it not only for warmth, but for memory, for presence. And somewhere deep in the chambers of our being we still do. Lighting a lamp before sleep may seem like a small gesture, even poetic, but it's more than that. It is a reminder to the soul, a quiet way of saying, I see you. You are not lost in the noise of the day. You are not reduced to your roles, your regrets, your rushing thoughts. You are light, and this flame is your mirror. In many Buddhist and yogic traditions, an oil lamp is lit not for illumination alone, but for purification. The slow, steady burn of the cotton wick in organic oil, be it sesame, olive, or ghee, releases not only scent and light, but a subtle clarity into the space. It is believed that the presence of this gentle flame dissolves certain unseen energies, heaviness, agitation, restlessness. You may not notice it immediately, but your body does, your breath does, your sleep does. There's a small Zen anecdote told of a monk who lit a lamp each night in the monastery's meditation hall. One evening, a visitor asked, "Is the light for others to find their way in the dark?" The monk smiled. "No, it is to help me not lose myself." You see, we don't only lose ourselves in the world, we often lose ourselves in our own minds, especially at night. In the quiet, when the world no longer distracts us, our own thoughts can become a kind of noise, echoing louder than they did all day. And that's when the flame becomes more than symbolic. It becomes centering. Try it tonight. Before you lie down, light a small lamp beside your bed. Choose a wick made of cotton. Choose oil that is organic, something that once came from the earth, not a machine. Light it with intention, not with rush. Sit beside it, even for just a minute, and let its stillness touch something in you that you may have forgotten. A softness, a steadiness, a self beyond all the stories. Let the shadows it casts remind you, even darkness has shape, has movement, has rhythm. And just as the flame flickers but doesn't disappear, so too does your awareness, always there, even when life feels unclear. You may be surprised by what shifts in your sleep simply by placing a light beside your darkness. And when you wake, that same lamp, now a small pool of melted oil and ash, will remind you that the night did pass, that you were never truly alone in it. But light, for all its power, is not enough, unless the inner flame is remembered too. So now, let us go even deeper, beyond the body, beyond the senses, into the space where identity itself begins to loosen. In the next part, we'll enter the heart of the practice, the ancient remembering that you are not this body, you are not this mind, a gentle mantra, a silent truth that can transform the very nature of your sleep. Part 5. You are not this body. You are not this mind. What if the most important thing you could do before sleep is remember who you are not? We spend our days wrapped tightly in identity. We say, my name is, my job is, my thoughts are, my body feels, and without realizing it, we wear these phrases like garments until they become skin. But at night, when the world finally releases its hold, there is an invitation, a quiet opportunity to loosen these layers and come back to what's underneath. The Buddha once said, "Just as a snake sheds its skin, we must shed our past over and over again." And what is identity if not a tapestry woven from yesterday's thoughts and roles? There's a gentle practice known to monks and yogis alike. Simple, undramatic, but deeply transforming. As you lie down at night, just before the final flicker of wakefulness slips into sleep, you begin to whisper within, "I am not the body. I am not even the mind." Let each inhalation be a remembering, "I am not the body." Let each exhalation be a soft release, "I am not even the mind." And you don't need to believe it at first. Belief is not the point. Presence is. You are not trying to convince yourself of something spiritual. You are simply loosening your grip on what you normally cling to. That pain in your knee, that regret from this morning, that worry about tomorrow's doctor's visit, all part of the body-mind field, but not you. You are the one who sees, the witness, the silence behind the thought. There's an old story from the forest monasteries of Sri Lanka. A novice monk came to his teacher distressed. "I cannot meditate," he said. "My thoughts are loud, my body aches, my past keeps rising up." The teacher said, "You think you are your thoughts, so you believe they are too much. You think you are your pain, so it becomes your burden. But if you are the sky, why do you suffer every passing cloud?" This is the essence of the practice. You are the sky, vast, undisturbed, open. The body is a cloud, the mind, another. Let them pass, don't hold on. And what better time to let them drift than as you drift into sleep? Most people fall asleep thinking about what went wrong, what they wish they had said, what they're afraid might happen. And they carry those worries like stones into their dreams. But if you can spend just 12 minutes, 12 gentle minutes, remembering that you are not this aching body, not this restless mind, something begins to shift. Sleep becomes softer, deeper, less crowded. And when you wake, you may find that the things that used to grip you now pass by with less pull. This isn't magic, it's clarity. It's the gentle clearing of a fogged window, one breath at a time. Tonight, try it. As your head sinks into the pillow, don't fight sleep. Don't try to fix anything. Just breathe, and silently, like a mother humming to a child, repeat, "I am not the body. I am not even the mind." Let those words carry you across the threshold. Let them be your boat, your bridge, your lullaby. And if you forget halfway through, that's okay. Begin again. Begin gently. Because the point isn't to arrive anywhere. The point is to let go. In the next section, we'll draw together all these threads: the body unburdened, the mind stilled, the spirit remembered, and ask one final question. What if sleep isn't the end of the day, but the beginning of something sacred? Part 6. Sleep is not the end. It is a sacred beginning. What if sleep isn't a shutdown, but a doorway into something deeper than dreams? What if instead of seeing it as the end of a long, weary day, we treated it as a sacred passage, a return, not a retreat? A soft unraveling back to something wordless, timeless, and beautifully true. In the rush of daily life, sleep often becomes just another task. We collapse into it, we fall into it, with exhaustion. But the ancient wisdom traditions, from Buddhist monasteries to Zen hermitages, have always treated sleep as something holy, a quiet ceremony of surrender, a spiritual returning, not just to rest the body, but to remember the self beyond it. The Buddha once said, As a flame blown out by the wind goes to rest and cannot be defined, so the enlightened person goes to rest, free from name and form. There is something profoundly sacred about dissolving, not into oblivion, but into presence. You see, sleep isn't the absence of self, it's the absence of striving. There's a beautiful metaphor from the Zen tradition. A student asked his master, "Where do we go when we sleep deeply, with no dreams?" The master replied, "To the place where the dew returns to the leaf, where the wave returns to the sea. That is the essence. We don't disappear, we return to the formless, to the space before identity. And if we cross that threshold consciously, even just a little, we don't just sleep more deeply, we awaken differently. This is why monks bow before sleep, why they light lamps, rinse the body, clear the mind, because they know that the way you enter sleep shapes what you carry from it. A restless entry often births a restless return, but a mindful entry, that brings peace you can't describe, only feel. So tonight, instead of drifting off with the television murmuring or the phone glowing inches from your face, try something else. Lie down as if you were returning home. Let your breath be your boat. Let your stillness be your offering. And as you close your eyes, don't think of this as the end of the day. Think of it as a quiet beginning. A beginning of cleansing. A beginning of softening. A beginning of deeper seeing. Because sleep, in its truest sense, is where we begin to dissolve the illusion that we are only this name, this age, this body with its pains and plans. Sleep is where we practice letting go for one night, so that when the real letting go comes, we are not afraid. Can you feel it? That gentle invitation from the night. It does not shout. It does not demand. It only whispers, come back to yourself. And if you follow that whisper, if you enter sleep not as an escape, but as a sacred crossing, you may find, upon waking, that you are not only more rested, but more whole. Because you didn't just sleep, you returned. Do you remember that question, the one we began with? Have you ever gone to sleep carrying something heavy, though you couldn't name what it was? Maybe that weight is still there, but just a little softer now. Maybe it's loosened its grip. Not because it vanished, but because you finally saw it, held it, and said, you can rest too, as I sit here with you. In the hush of this ending, something small is blooming in me. It's not a grand insight, not a truth to frame. It's just this gentle realization. We are not here to master life. We are here to meet it, night after night, with softness. And perhaps, just perhaps, the most healing part of the day isn't what we do, but how we let go. Not perfectly, not with fanfare, but like leaves falling, not because they're told to, but because it's time. If your heart still carries ache, if your thoughts still linger in places you cannot name, that's okay. Some wounds don't want to be fixed. They just want to be felt, held, and slowly, quietly released into the night. So tonight, let sleep take you not as a task, but as a return. Let the dark be soft. Let the silence speak. Let the breath be enough. And if this story touched something tender in you, maybe someone you love is carrying the same quiet weight, you could send this their way. No need to explain, just a whisper that says, I thought of you. Good night, dear soul. You are not alone, not now, not ever.